just wondering what helped you relate to your character, because I know that there was a lot of, I guess, pressure and obviously past actors playing it, and he was kind of a dick at some times. So what helped?
He wasn't. No, he wasn't. Let's how long have we got? Let's set the record straight. He wasn't. If James had got to the point where you'd actually seen him as a man, then everyone would have known. There was no shadow of a doubt. He wasn't a dick at all. He was head boy. Lily wouldn't have gone for him if he was. You know, she helped straighten him out. But yeah, he had a moral core as fine as anybody else's. Dumbledore trusted him right to the end. So I don't think there's any shadow of a doubt. Call me a James apologist, but no. You happen to see him at a weak moment from someone else's perspective. But he always thought of himself as a hero. That's the thing. We're all the hero in our own story. You know, if you're not, you're a weirdo. And so yeah, I don't think there was any shadow of a doubt he was a good man and would have been a great man if he'd been given a chance. Now.
It's kind of like, I was thinking, we went to see Wicked yesterday, you know that show? It was so good, it was amazing. But it was like Linda at the start, she was such a, she was so nasty and mean, and then she did grow, like she didn't stay that way. She experienced things that made her realize, oh, maybe I'm not right, maybe I need to be more open-minded. And that is like admirable. By the end you're like, oh, she's had, you know, an amazing journey and she is a lovely person, you just had to uncover that.
And it's like anyone that's trying to show off or trying to impress anybody, it's always because they feel like they're missing something in themselves.
Right.
And so through Lily and seriously found that, and so he didn't need to do that anymore, so he could just relax and be the guy that he was supposed to be. Now, okay, back to the other question. I always thought of it kind of cheating, because they auditioned so many people for James. David said to me eventually that it was just sort of that I was more like him than all the other people. And I think it kind of, I told this a couple of times, so if you've heard this, so now, feel free. We did this big game at one of the rounds, and everyone had to go around and hit other people, and they hit all the actors, they had about 30 of us there, and any one of us could have been James. So everyone was trying to move around and hit everybody else on the head. And I'm quite competitive, so I obviously wanted to win. And I noticed, while all the other actors were going around trying to hit each other, which is quite a difficult thing because everyone's moving around quickly, I noticed that there were 5 people sat in chairs just watching. Stationary targets. So one of them happened to be David Yates, one of them was David Heyman, one of them was David Barrow, one of them was casting director, and one of them was the casting director's assistant. So I thought, brilliant. I saw all and I ran back to the middle, which is what you had to do when you've won, and I just sat down, put my hand up in the air, and a massive smug smile on my face. And one of my friends who was at the audition as well, who I was basically just goofing about with, he was about 3rd or 4th, he came sat down right next to me, looked at me and went, "You idiot." But yeah, apparently according to David, that was kind of when they sort of went, "Oh yeah, he might be James." So yeah, I think they sort of saw it in me.
Okay, now we've got time for 3 more questions now. Sorry about some of you guys being very patient. A lot of you been asking and waiting. Upstairs, we have Damien right there. Yes. Damien has a question from a lady there.
Hi. Oh, my voice is everyone. It was really cool seeing Luna in the films, like going off of everyone's interpretation of it. And I was wondering, what was it like playing Luna in the films? And then I know some other people will have seen it. Luna in a HarryPotter senior year.
Harry Potter senior year than any of the Harry Potter films. Yeah, well, obviously the Luna from the films was just my interpretation from the book, and as opposed to, and I always was very grateful to the producers and David Yates. They really trusted me, and they always asked my advice. And actually, like, they asked me, to design a lot of her accessories and the lion hat. They even asked me to design some of the paintings on the wall in her house, but I had exams at the time and had to turn that down. Which, in perspective, now Harry Potter designing a house really didn't look good, and exams that I don't even remember the results. I really made the wrong decision there. But yeah, I think that one was just that it was for me to play. It was for me to do my version of Luna and. Really respect her and kind of, I just felt she was such an important character and she had such an interesting and valid outlook on the world, and I wanted to get that across. And yeah, A Harry Potter Senior Year is a completely different story because it is a parody musical and they are poking fun at the books a bit. So Luna, and like people used to say this to me, so we kind of gave Luna, she was a bit a smoker and she was a bit more spacey because a lot of people would say to me, did Luna, was she a bit of a pothead? Was she so spacey? I'm like, no, that's just her. But I think with A Harry Potter Senior Year, they were kind of hinting at that more because you can do bad things with characters. And yeah, it was just, like, it was a last minute thing. They had the script all planned out and they just asked me to get on board. And I was a really big fan of Star Kids, so yeah, I just said yes.
Lovely. A question over there. This side. Second last question.
Hi, if you could try any potion, which would you try?
Felix Felicis? For sure. Yeah, I think it's a good one because it's like just to see what your day is like if it goes perfect, and I think it would be a good like psychological one to do because then you could sort of look at it and be like, well, I could have done all those things anyway. It was just my perspective because I felt lucky. So I think it would be a good one to have that just, yeah, kind of shift your perspective on the world.
This is embarrassing. She's the only person I've ever told this to. Before I was cast, I actually shut up. For about a year, I actually played my own Felix Felicis. I was in it constituted of pineapple juice and some secret ingredients, a lot of program so yeah, that would have been it, I guess. Jesus.
Alright, and last question over here.
Hi. I was just wondering if you could say I love New Zealand in your best New Zealand accents.
We were talking about this yesterday, we were like, I have absolutely no idea how to do a Kiwi accent, just not a million years.
Can you do that and we'll imitate you?
Oh gosh, okay, I feel like such a hypocrite right now. I love New Zealand.
I love New Zealand.
I love New Zealand.
I can't think of a better way to end the Chris Creek Q&A session. What do you reckon, people? Evanna and Robbie.